We were recently in Whistler, snowboarding, relaxing, touring a 10K a night Airbnb, and meeting cool people. And while we were experiencing Whistler with Princess, the kids, Tyler, and Dusty, I couldn't help but think about something really important.
I'm gonna say something quite controversial. Stop saving your money. But there's only one big rule. You have to invest it in yourself.
Don't get too crazy thinking I'm saying spend all your money. Let me explain.
And yes, this place is absolutely crazy. Ace Host, thank you for hooking us up. If you need a really nice place for you and your crew, recommend it. And we wouldn't usually be driving around in style like this, but Pacific Car Rentals hooked it up for us. So yeah, we have the perfect family mobile. Dusty, how's the hot tub?
We're making a lot of noise down here.
I'm sorry for disturbing your hot tub session.
Just catching a morning coffee, some views, and trying to enjoy this place before we head out.
My bad, I'll leave you to it. This whole idea of not saving your money is very foreign to me. Ever since I was young, all I do is just save all of my money. For what? I'm not exactly sure. I just feel like it's better to have money in the bank than to not. Now for some of you, you're the complete opposite and you spend every single dollar, and even though you've worked hard, you have nothing in the bank and you don't even know what you spent it on. Now for the longest time, I thought my ways of treating money are 100% right and the rest of you who spend it all are 100% wrong. But I actually think both of us might be wrong. Recently, I read a book called Die with Zero, and there was one story in particular that really stuck out to me, and it was about him as a young buck getting an entry-level job, and he was saving every single dollar. He was skipping out on all the hangouts with friends and the little trips and all that. Instead, he was saving it, and he had saved up, I think it was like $2,000. And then he was talking to his boss, and his boss was saying, "You are an idiot. Why are you saving that money?" And his point was that right now in his career, to save $2,000 is taking everything out of him, and he's missing out on all of the life experiences. And a few years later, once his career has progressed a little bit, he'd be able to save that $2,000 in no time at all. And here's the important part. He said that it would be better to invest that money into himself because that money would compound over time in a massive way, and you can't go back to that time and get those memories and experiences no matter how much money you have.
There's two big things that we need to think about when we're talking about money. Number one, we need to invest in ourselves. Instead of just saving all our money or spending it on things that you don't really need, like expensive coffee or clothes or Uber Eats, we need to actually invest in ourselves. And for me, that means anything that makes us more skillful or valuable, i.e. you're learning new skills or you're becoming even better at a certain skill that you already have. Think learning, but also within reason, I would put things like traveling or experiencing new things, self-development into this category.
We're at the gondola, getting our tickets. It's funny how deceiving it is. It just like keeps going up and up and up and up, way into the clouds. Man, the older I get, the more I just want to do the non-productive things like go snowboarding. No productivity here, just pure fun.
And a lot of times I think we kind of trick ourselves into thinking that we are investing in ourselves, but really it's more like just like a band-aid fix to make us feel better. For example, like you're like, oh, I want to get better at filmmaking, so I'm going to order that new lens. And it might not actually make you a better filmmaker. A better use of that money might have been to put into, making a short film with your friends or paying for a course on filmmaking that would, again, make you better, more skillful, more valuable. But at the same time, buying something could help. For example, if you want to add to your arsenal a skill like being able to use a gimbal, well, you're gonna need to buy a gimbal and then actually use it and learn it. So that could be a really good investment in yourself. But if you're just buying a gimbal because everybody else has a gimbal and some idiot YouTuber said that this is a good gimbal and then you don't use it, well, that's a terrible investment or not an investment in yourself.
Whistler's a little big, and I didn't trust Dusty's guiding skills here, so
Not an expert here.
We got ourselves a real local guide. How's it going, man? This is Chris. He shreds the gnar here at Whistler. Like, you're here all the time, I feel like.
Every time, 380 days a year.
Thanks, Chris, for guiding us around the mountain the first day. He's got his own channel on snowboarding if you want to check it out. Super fun. I think for me personally, I've always been pretty good at the learning side, but I haven't invested in myself enough in ways like putting money into productions, actually putting money into making a video. Usually I don't actually have any budget for making these videos. It's just me running around making these silly videos. But this year I really want to put money into things like rebooting the Being series and making it way better and high quality than I could have ever done just by myself. I think investing in yourself is one of the best ways that you can spend your money, and it'll pay back in dividends later on when you can actually use those skills and use that value to make more money. Thanks Dusty and Tyler for looking after the kids on Valentine's so me and Princess could go on a date. And thank you Fairmont Chateau Whistler for hooking it up, letting us enjoy your spa and incredible food.
Coming in here live from our spa in Whistler. Just wanted to stop on Matti's camera and say thank you for letting me come by. Hey guys, say thanks for your dad for bringing you to Whistler. Thank you.
And if we're talking about money, let's talk about a concept called memory dividends. Let's imagine for a second that we're 70 years old. Which are you gonna be more excited about? The fact that you have $1 million in the bank, let's make it a $10 million in the bank, but you never really got to experience the things that you wanted to in life. Or you only have $100,000 in the bank, but you got to experience almost all of the things that you always wanted to do. For me, that's pretty obvious. I would way rather have those experiences and be able to look back on them instead of just having a ton of money in the bank. And in Die with Zero, they really talk about this idea of memory dividends, which is essentially reliving those past memories and experiences and continually getting enjoyment from them. Not just the first time that you actually experienced it or had that memory, but then reliving those memories and experiences, you're getting fulfillment out of them time and time again.
Who are you? What do you do?
Downey Live, transportainment is what I call it.
I don't know if you're selling yourself super well.
We're transporting on the boards. Enough talking. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
If you spend hours and hours of your life acquiring money and then die without spending all of that money, then you've needlessly wasted too many precious hours of your life. There's no way to get those hours back. If you die with $1 million left, that's $1 million of experiences you didn't have. And if you die with $50,000 left, well, that's $50,000 of experiences you didn't have. No way is that optimal. The question we all must answer is how to make the most of our finite time on Earth. For example, this trip to Whistler would have been a lot easier if I didn't take the kids along with us. But at the same time, we made such incredible memories on that trip that there's no amount of money that could later on replace that experience or those memories. I can't make those happen. You know, my kids are only gonna be 2 and 5 right now. I can't do that later on. And so I would rather pay money and go through the headaches of traveling with kids so that I then have those experiences, those memories later on that I can relive. Memory dividends. I keep thinking what it's gonna be like to be 70 years old and to watch back these videos and relive these memories. I think I'm gonna get even more memory dividends because I have these videos and I can really relive these memories. I think that's gonna be so much more important than just having money in the bank. Now, I'm not saying spend all your money. I'm definitely not saying that. I think a lot of people, especially creatives, underestimate the power of money and the doors money can open. I think money is just a tool and you need to get really good with money, smart with money, so that you can have as many doors open as possible as you go through life. If you say things like, I don't care about money, or if you're bad with money, you're gonna have have so many fewer doors open for you, and that just means less experiences, less memories, less memory dividends. And the earlier you can be smart with your money, the more doors you'll have open to you as you go through your life.
Super nice meeting and hanging out.
Too.
I'll see you on a narrowboat, maybe?
Hope so. Or F1. We'll talk.
Yeah, narrowboat? Narrowboat?
And it's interesting, not all experiences require money. For example, while we were in Whistler, we met Ben from Ace Host who ran the house that we were staying at. And he's like, why don't I give you guys a tour of a different property I also manage? And this one is like somewhere around $10,000 a night.
So, I think we're gonna get a tour of this house.
It is insane. Probably one of the coolest houses I've ever been to. And it's on like the mountain at Whistler, which is nuts. And as we were talking, I was like, man, we should get a bunch of creators and come hang out at this house. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So you can work hard in life and build skills and connections and relationships that then can just birth these crazy experiences that I would have never imagined. And like, I'm not gonna pay $10,000 a night for an Airbnb. It's too much for me. But now we might be going there with a bunch of friends and hang out in this insane house. And I'm pretty sure that experience I would remember for the rest of my life.
So do we need to do more brand deals, or?
I think it's time to push up those goals.
But importantly, I wouldn't have that opportunity if I hadn't worked hard early in my career, learned a bunch of skills, built this thing, this, I don't know what to call it nowadays, YouTube, this whole business. I wouldn't have these opportunities if I hadn't worked really hard and invested in myself. What are you gonna be remembering when you're 70 years old? Is it all the money that you made and invested and have in the bank? Or is it memories you made, things that you experienced with the people that you love? Die with Zero, a great book. It's one of the most impactful books that I've read in a long time.
Thanks, Ben, Ace Host. This place was awesome. We should come back, right?
Yeah, next week.
Okay.